Hey everyone, fun video for you today. As you can see, I've got two cameras going. I've got the Obsbot Tiny 4K right here, and I've got the Insta360 Link, also 4K camera. These two cameras have a lot of the same functions, so I'm going to be comparing these two cameras, and I'm going to be switching back and forth between cameras and audio. So if you just look across the bottom or somewhere on the screen, I will always say what camera you are seeing and what audio you are hearing. Right now, I'm talking into this XLR mic. I'll be using this for most of the video except for when I'm doing specific audio tests for these cameras. So you can see the two cameras here. This is the Obsbot Tiny. This is the Insta360 Link. Obviously there is a size difference here. How they're mounted is slightly different. This actually has magnets. That's really strong. And that's how you mount that. This is kind of a more normal, what you would see webcam mount. Both of these you can move manually if you want to. If you want to turn off the Obsbot, you just move the camera down and you can see it turns off by itself. With the Insta360 Link, it's not the same way, it just moves. But if you turn off the Insta360 Link camera, they both connect via USB-C. Pretty cool cameras. I want to thank Insta360 for sending me this webcam so I can do this comparison test. And really, I don't want to share too much of my own opinion because these are webcams. I don't really have to. I'm just going to run through some tests and show them, and you can decide for yourself what you think is better on which camera. For my first test, I will do a color test. This is an orange box. They actually show up pretty similar in both cameras. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it's kind of a tie. I will let you decide for yourself which one you think has better colors to you. So for my next test, I'm going to do a clarity test, and for this I'm just going to zoom in all the way on the cameras. There we go. That's the Obsbot zoomed in, and okay, so if you look deep into my eyes. Again, I'm just going to let you decide for yourself which one you think has the clearer picture, but this is zoomed in all the way on both cameras. And I'm sure you're done with this. Let me zoom out. All right, this is zoomed out all the way. So you can see on the Insta360 Link, it's actually cropped in a little more. To match up the sizes, I do have to zoom in a little bit on the Obsbot 4K. So that is something to be aware of. If you want a more widescreen, you'll get that with the Obsbot 4K. Insta360 Link is more focus on the face. For my next test, I will do autofocus. So I've got two boxes of the same thing. Wow. Seems like both webcams have about 4 inches in which they won't focus at all, and then beyond 4 inches they do autofocus. Next test is low light situation test. I'm going to turn off all the lights, and this is what it looks like without any light. It's almost 6:30 in the morning, the sun's coming up, so there is some light coming in, and then of course the light from my monitor, but this is what it looks like in low light situation. Let's see how these cameras do with this. Cool beans. Next test, I'm going to turn on the overhead LED lights, quite bright. Let's see how that goes. And this is what these webcams look like in a well-lit environment. These again are strong LED overhead lights. More cool beans. Turn these lights back on. A lot of people, when they use a webcam, they'll sit right in front of a window and it will have light kind of like this where it's really bright behind them. So this is what it looks like with both of the cameras, with a really bright light. Now both of these cameras have HDR, so let me go ahead and turn on HDR. Alright, I just turned on HDR for the Obsbot. Not sure if you noticed any difference. And I just turned on HDR for the Insta360. So there you have it. Backlight with HDR. This is what it looks like. Okay, and HDR is off. For my next test, I want to run through some of the features that make these webcams unique. So I'm going to manually move. This is the Obsbot. I'm just kind of moving it. Super easy to move. Let's do the same thing with the Insta360. Okay, the Insta360, it kind of wants to return back to where it was. Like if you just bump it, it will go back to where it was. And the Obsbot kind of does that too. If you just bump it, it goes back to the home location. The Insta360 seems to be faster, but if you do it long enough, it stays put with where you move it to. So both cameras basically the same. The Insta360 moves a bit faster. I would say that's probably the biggest difference there. And of course, both of these cameras do auto tracking. The signal for that is you hold up your hand and then the cameras start tracking you. As you can see, it's quite a bit faster on the Insta360. So I'm going to turn that off. And these actually change colors when they do the function, so you can see them blinking blue and stuff like that. The other feature you can do with these webcams is you can zoom in or out with gestures, so you can kind of make the L shape, and you can see the Obsbot zooms in as soon as you do that. With the Insta360, you actually need to move your hand up for it to zoom in. Then you move your hand down when you want it to zoom out. So I guess you could say the difference here, Obsbot, you use the same signal to zoom in and out. Insta360 Tiny, you kind of go up and down. The zoom on the Obsbot is faster than the zoom on the Insta360. Next test, audio test. This is the audio from the Obsbot 4K. So this has noise cancellation on it. It's got like 2 mics on it. So what I like to do is my Razer test, I'll turn the Razer on. It has this sound. And this is me talking over the Razer, but with the noise suppression, it is not as loud as I am hearing it right next to it. And now we're on the Insta360 Link webcam. All the audio is coming from that. This also has 2 mics, also has noise suppression, noise reduction, whatever you call it. So let's do the Razer test again. I'm turning it on now. And this is me talking over the Razer. You should be able to hear me just fine, even though the Razer's on really loud by my ear, but hopefully it was not so loud for you. The last thing I want to show in this video is just run through the software real quick for both of these webcams. You can see I have this little joystick, so if I want to move, okay, now with my light set up again, let's do this again. So I can control with the joystick here. Trying to go back to the middle. I can also zoom in and out if I don't want to use the hand gestures. I actually much prefer to use software to zoom in and out. It's a lot easier for me. And then you've got preset positions that you can add. So you can kind of set up where you want it to face and then add a preset position. And with the Obsbot, you can open up more settings. So you've got things like firmware update, gesture controls, you can turn on and off, tracking mode, you got headroom, standard motion, anti-flicker, you can do that, HDR, which we already did. You can turn autofocus on or off, face focus, face auto exposure. I'm not sure what that is. Please upgrade for new features with your tiny camera. And now we'll have a look at the Insta360 Link software. So it's got this kind of small mode. You can hover over it. You can't see this in my recording, but when I hover over the tracker wheel, it becomes large. And here's me manually trying to track. Oh, come back. I prefer to just manually move the camera. You can zoom in and out as well. And then you've got 6 preset positions that you can move along here. You can turn on tracking. This is whiteboard mode, which is something unique to the Insta360 link, where you can like put 4 stickers on, and if you turn that mode on, it only shows what's within the 4 stickers. That's something I don't know if any other camera has that. And then you have overhead mode too, so if you want to look straight down, you do need overhead tripod or something for that. And desk view mode, so it goes down if you want to see me typing. You can see my nice quilt that keeps me warm in the morning in desk view mode. How cute. But here I can go to the large version, and this is what the large version looks like. Obviously it's not showing me on the screen because I'm recording this in OBS and it's not going to duplicate the video, but it's all the same features, and you can record within here if you want to use this software for recording. That's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. I really like both of these cameras. Obviously there are some differences, and I will leave it up to you to decide which you like more. All I can say is webcams in the past 1 or 2 years have dramatically increased, and the quality you are seeing now is way better than anything we've had in the past. I'm really happy that webcams are actually starting to get good, and hopefully they'll continue to get good in the future. Again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.